I looked at the website for the, Black women in radio. But it's so inspiring, just the website itself.
Yes,
It's so inspiring. It's just like, wow, to see other women of color. And I've seen some of the women before.
Yes.
I've seen them before.
Yes. Some of those ladies are local personalities, and then some of them are people who are personalities in other cities and other states. So that's the whole goal of Black Women in Radio, is to be inclusive and to include women everywhere. So our goal is to include and to celebrate women everywhere. So nobody is excluded, because that's part of the whole point of why our founder, Felicia Love, founded it, was because radio for a long time has been an industry where only men have been celebrated, just the men, and women have kind of just been seen as kind of like an extra appendage, just a sidekick, and have a lot of times have not gotten their just due for the contributions that they have made to the form of radio, to the art form of radio. So that was the whole premise behind why she wanted to start this, to include women and to celebrate women. So we try to make sure that we include everybody. If we find out about somebody that we don't know about, we try to reach out to them and make sure that everybody is included. So this podcast series, Community Matters, is a part of our outreach effort, our community outreach efforts that we're doing with Black Women in Radio. So, of course, I heard your story that you shared with me, and I thought that this was a perfect story to share, not only because of what your goal is for Rita's Helping Hand, but also because of your own backstory. And I would really like for you to start with your backstory and kind of paint a picture for our audience about who you are and how you came to be where you are right now today. Cherita Toussaint. Rita's Helping Hand.
It all started mentally, at the age of 13. At the age of 13, I said, I want to do something to help kids who have parents addicted to drugs. And it all started with me being left alone a lot. And I said, you know what? Okay, I got to create something where I'm left alone. So now I have an imagination of what I'm going to do because I'm bored, right? So I started this company called Computer Company Files. And the reason why it was called Computer Company Files is because all the drug addicted mothers were the files. So I created folders with the mothers' names on them, and the mothers were to come into the center that I built mentally, and they were able to drop their kids off. If you want to be in the streets, I'm not judging you. Just bring the children to me. I will feed the children, I will teach the children, and I provide them clothing and bedding. Women are welcome to come too, but you will have to practice being clean and stay stable and find jobs. So employment, funding, I will provide that out of my own pocket for the drug addicted mothers. Anytime they felt they needed to go back out into the streets, I wanted them to leave the children with me, and I will give them the assurance that I will take care of the children and they were welcome back at any time. Some mothers will come back, some mothers wouldn't, but that's how it all started in my mind. So it started as being
that is quite a lofty goal for a 13-year-old to even think of something like that in their mind or otherwise. Kids. That's a really big goal or dream to have.
I was one of those children. I was one of the children where I would be dropped off, and I was so grateful enough not to be in harm's way. But many children who have drug addicted parents are in harm's way. They are experiencing what they are doing while they are, on the drugs. So I just wanted to provide a safe haven for those children to come. And I knew that I had passion in my heart, and I wasn't going to judge or try to take the children from the mothers. So I knew that I would be important to them. And then, so 13, it started mentally. And then when I became a teenage mother, it started to shift. working more so for what I was experiencing versus what my mother had experienced.
Okay.
So I said, okay, now I'm going to shift it in helping teen parents. And then by 16, it kind of just faded away because now I'm a mom and I have all these things going on. So helping others had to be put on the back burner because I had to help myself.
Right. And you became a teenage mother at what age? What age were you?
15. Well, I became
15.
pregnant at 14, but had the child at 15.
At 15. Okay. So that experience in particular, you think helped prepare you for the work that you're doing now?
Absolutely. Because I'm able to put myself in the shoes of others. I'm able to connect with children in the community who are teenage parents, connect with children in the community who live, very poor, who don't see themselves past what their environment shows. So I'm able to connect with them on all levels, poor, poverty-stricken, not having resources in the community, not being able to just educate themselves so they can do better.
Right.
I come from all levels of that. So when you have those experiences, you can communicate with them and say, I've been there. I know your pain. I understand. Right. So let me show you how to get better.
And that makes you probably the ideal person to help people who are in those situations because you have that connection with them and you understand where they come from because you've been there yourself. So Absolutely. Here you are, somewhat 20 years later, and now you have Rita's Helping Hand. And what is the premise behind Rita's Helping Hand?
The premise behind it is being able to provide resources to people who just don't know where to go to get support, to get the assistance that they need to become better. So if someone is just like, oh, I've already went to this community, they're not helping me, my job is to dig a little deeper into resources that can help you, get you connected to the right people so that you can find a job, with your skills. You can be able to find counseling that will provide it to you if you don't have health insurance. Be able to find support if you have a child with a disability. Being able to connect you in the college if you want to find higher education. Just being able to provide all enrichment services that a person may need so they can become successful.
Are you working in partnership with any organizations or any businesses to help you with making those connections, or once you make those connections that are offering assistance to you for what you're doing?
I am not. I haven't been able to find any here that I can connect with, but I am thinking about connecting with one. I just want to make sure that I'm able to get the resources that I can provide to people in the community from that organization.
So how are you able to do this then? If you're not working with a partnership, are you doing this out of your own pocket, or are you just finding resources that you know about yourself just from your own experiences and kind of connecting people through those avenues that you're already familiar with?
No, not at all. As far as the funding, I am spending the money out of my own pocket, but I create a budget every month for, so it depends on what the need is. The budget right now that I have is for people who need stable housing. So if a woman is not able to have somewhere to stay or she's being abused and needs immediate assistance, I have funding available to place someone in a hotel. I have funding available to get someone back and forth to work, things like that. But yes, it comes out of my own pocket. And then as far as the resources, I don't have any connections, but what I am good at is searching and finding the things that people need. And it's all over. For example, a guy in Dixon, Illinois, was seeking shelter for him and his son, and he didn't know where to go in Dixon, Illinois to get the help. So I reached out to Salvation Army, which is normally my go-to for assistance. And at that time, they was not able to provide assistance. So I dug a little deeper to find out what community resource does provide that. And then I was able to find the people who do. And right away, they were able to provide him immediate assistance for housing and food and clothing.
Wow. So do
Mm-hmm.
you have to provide any information to, say, Salvation Army before they offer any help? Like, do you have to provide some type of proof or anything, or you just kind of give them a person's situation and just tell them, look, this person needs help, and they just send the money? How does that process work?
Yeah, so when you connect with Salvation Army, they do an intake with the person. I introduce who I am and the organization that I have and why I'm reaching out and who the person is. And then they say, okay, we need to speak to the person. Fine, not a problem. So I connect the person with the Salvation Army or whatever organization will provide the funding,
That's
provide
okay.
the funding for them.
Mm-hmm.
And once they provide the funding for them, they connect. Sometimes I'm on the call with the person, with the client, with the organization, so that whatever that person may not be able to gather for them during the intake, I can step in and say, I'll take care of that part for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person needs a birth certificate, social security card, if they need funding to get to the intake, if they can't
Mm-hmm.
do it over the phone, I'll step in and provide that for them. So, and even documentation, if the person not able to get a letter or anything like that, I can provide that for them. So it's
Okay.
more so of making sure that they stay connected, they get the help that they need, um, and just following up and just making sure. But sometimes people don't have a, they don't connect well with someone they
Mm-hmm.
may not know. And since I've already had a brief relationship with them, I can connect them to the intake person and
Mm-hmm.
also step in and ask the right questions, depending on their circumstance.
Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to knowing that you have this amazing backstory, I know that you didn't finish telling us the rest, that you were a teenage mother a couple of times over, and you
Yeah.
actually married the man that you had your children by, and you're still married today, and you have a 4-year-old in addition to that now.
A little
That is
lady.
amazing. There are
It
not a
is.
lot of teenage mothers out there that can say all these years later that they're still with the guy that they were with. Not people in general can
Yeah.
say that
Yeah,
they're still with the
absolutely.
guy that they were with when they were a teenager. And that not only that, that you have another baby, a 4-year-old that you have as well. And in between that time that you went back to school yourself,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess also helps you with where you are and how you are able to help with connecting people, especially those
Absolutely.
who need education resources. That must help also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yes.
it's more so, it's scary too, because at the age of 14 with child, 15 had a child, 16 had a child, 17 pregnant, and then 18 with the child, and then married at 18. So it's a huge struggle. It's tough. You fall into deep depression because you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to the point and I said, you know what? I have to be able to find structure
Mm-hmm.
within what I have going on. And I was
Mm-hmm.
so upset about being in that predicament. And I was so upset about losing my mom, where I was just so mad and depressed. And I said, you know what? It has to change.
Mm-hmm.
It has to change. So I chose to raise the children and then become the woman that I was destined to be after I raised them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my plan before the 4-year-old was even born. I said, well, they're adults now. I can start working on me,
Right.
and then she came along, but I don't regret it at all, because the mother who I was to those children as a teenager, as a young woman in my 20s, it was that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was growing. But
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm a 40-year-old mom,
Uh-huh.
the oh my goodness, the wisdom that I have to teach the 4-year-old will be remarkable, even better,
Exactly.
more stepping stones for her because of my wisdom and the way that I'm able to raise her.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Well, that I think that is just such a remarkable story, because as you and I have talked about before, you've mentioned, those challenges that you went through as a young person, and most
Mm-hmm.
people probably can't even imagine going through that. I can't
Tough.
imagine having had a baby at 14. Oh my God, I would have been a mess,
It's tough, and
So
I actually end up at the age of 15, I said, you know what is it that I can do to get my own financial assistance?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, if you were a minor, your parent or whoever your guardian was would receive the financial assistance for you, because you're living in their home.
Right.
That wasn't working out for me. So I said, okay, I have to find out what I can do. And I just made a phone call. And just like I do for other people, I did it for myself. I called and I found the right person. And she says, can you come today? I
Mm-hmm.
said, yes, I can come today. And I walked into the office and I spoke to her about the circumstance I had going on. I was 15, had a baby, going into 16, and I was already pregnant. So
Mm-hmm.
she says, well, if you have 2 children, you can receive your own financial assistance.
Wow.
But who, you don't know
You
that
would never have
because you're
known
not
that
asking.
had not sought that information yourself.
Nope, I wouldn't have known. I would have known at all.
No.
And I was like, wow, all I did was made a few phone calls, asked the right questions. So being able to do that at 15 for myself, I'm so much more powerful now that I can do it for other people and just navigate them in the right direction so they could get to that point too.
Mm-hmm. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
it
It's so,
amazing how you can look back on your life and you can see a circumstance or something that you were going through that might have seemed difficult or unfair or challenging at the time, but then you realize as you get older that it was all a part of God's plan to help you get to somewhere else.
absolutely.
Had you not gone through that and had
Mm-hmm.
you not been that person that you were when you were a teenager and when you were a young mother in your 20s, you probably wouldn't be the person that you are now because you would not have had those experiences that helped shape who you are. So now
Yes.
those experiences are going on to help make you somebody even bigger and better to help other people who go through
Help
the
other
same
people.
thing. But you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that at the time. You didn't know that
No,
at 14 and 15. You just thought,
no,
this is life dealing me this difficult hand and I don't know how to play it and,
no.
just stumbling through in the dark. But
Yeah.
look at where you have emerged. So
Yeah,
in
because as a
addition to the
woman,
fact I
go
was going to
ahead.
say, in addition to the fact that you have this amazing backstory, you also mentioned that you wanted to focus on helping young men and teenage
Yes,
boys, which is also, I think, extraordinary. Can you tell us about that?
it's so important. And I have a statement when I'm speaking to young men. You, even though you're in pain, and some people aren't religious, but I look at it as whatever you believe in, whatever faith you have, God won't leave you at the pain where you are. And you won't stay at the pain where you are. You will begin to progress. And I think with young men, they don't have as many resources as young women do.
Mm-hmm.
A young woman, she may be able to receive resources because she has children. She may be able to receive resources because she's a woman of color. She may be able to receive resources because she's a single parent. She's been abused. But a young man, he's more thrown off. Oh, you were slacking, you were lazy. Or if a young man has been incarcerated, him to be able to redeem himself, the chances are not available to them. So me researching and linking men to father initiatives programs and being able to provide sources for them so they can find stable employment, I think is very important. I think men are leaders. I believe that men need just as much assistance as the women. I believe that men, they go through depression. And as a man, they're strong. So they
Mm-hmm.
may not show that or connect with someone so that you can find out what's going on with them internally. But being able to provide them the support that they need so they can become the leaders they're destined to be
Mm-hmm.
is very imperative. It really is. I'm so keen on being able to help them get to that point. It is just, I don't think that socially, economically, that they're in the forefront and discussed. If a man is mentally abused, it's not discussed the same way a woman is,
Mm-hmm.
and they go through things too. So being able to provide more support, linking men with more resources where they can become leaders and stay just pretty much stable in that environment, I think is good. I really, really do. Men are the leaders of the community. Men are leaders of their families. Men are leaders in their jobs. But some who are just down and out, and they come from being forced into gangs. They come from being forced into moving out of the home. They come from being forced to not staying with the woman. Different things happen, but not a lot of men are supported in the areas where they suffer.
Right.
And they don't. And the programs they may not know that's available to them, even single dads, men who are struggling with making ends meet to pay child support. I want to let them know, if you go to court and put in motions to say, I'm not working right now, the mother will have the opportunity to say, okay, I agree with that. Let's lay off on the child support, or let's, let the income be less coming to me because he's not working right now. Just being able to provide the support instead of assuming that they always can provide, because they struggle too.
Right. Have you been able to help any young men or teenage boys at this time, aside from the family in Indiana? Have you helped any some young single fathers so far?
I haven't been able to help. I've only helped 2 single dads, but I did go around in a specific community and was just looking to see if I could find young guys who may have not been properly clothed, or looking through trash cans. And I was able to assist a young man and buy him some clothes in Target. And I was able to give him some funding as well. He had needed a place to stay. And he had a job interview coming up, but no clothes. So he didn't even ask for money. He just said, can you buy me clothes for the job interview? So I took him and, purchased him the clothes. So me being able to just get out there and be in the right place at the right time, I can help more.
Right.
Because, if I'm hidden, they don't know who I am. They don't know if they can lean on me for that support.
Well, I am really hoping that someone who sees this podcast video, or someone who hears your story, is able to connect with you and connect you with those people, because there are certainly plenty of people out there who need your help. We know that.
Absolutely.
And they would love to know who you are and where you are and your telephone number and how to reach you, but they don't know that you exist,
Right.
So they don't know that there's someone out there like you, that Rita's helping hand is just a phone call away, that can offer them that kind of support. So I am really hoping and praying that the right people can connect with you, because I imagine that if you were connected with the right agencies and organizations that did work in this area, community service or social services or whatever, that they would love to have you, because you're somebody who wants to do this.
Absolutely.
You're somebody who has a desire to do this.
Yes.
A lot of times those people, they're doing it because that's part of their job, not necessarily because they just come to work wanting to do this every day, but that's what they do because that's how they, that's their paycheck, but you are somebody who actually has a passion for doing this. So it would just be to their benefit and to yours as well, and to the people that you're helping if you were able to connect with the agencies that actually did work in this area. So you have a justice center also that you're interested in opening. Tell us about that.
Justin, and I named it Justin because I had a young cousin who I love dearly, and he died a couple years ago. And when I look at his life and talk about his legacy and the love that he had for people and his family, I look at young boys who are aging out of foster care. Sometimes when they age out of foster care, they have nowhere else to go, because at 18, you can dismiss them without anything. And I want the Justice Center to be a program for young men who are just out there without any support, to come to that center to be able to find employment, find stable housing, learn about different developments that the community has, learn about becoming financially stable, just gaining the wisdom that they need as a young man, being able to age out of that. And the foster care system is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So any man that is what, 18, 19, yeah, because 17, they're still able to be part of the program. But some of them say they run away, and, you know, they may not be able to have support. So I want to be the backbone for the young men who are going into adulthood, and just give them the wisdom that they need and the support so they can be stable enough to live as an adult. Right. And I think it's important for the young men because they are our leaders. They are. They're leaders. And Absolutely. They need us. They need women to support them. They need the love. You know, if you could just show love just a little bit. Sometimes, most of the times, children who are in foster care, they don't receive that. They go from detention center to house, back to the detention center, back to a different house. So coming from that, you already have a block up. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants to support me. I'm just out here. So being able to give them that love and support may reduce crime. May absolutely. Reduce them being against the world and taking advantage of whatever they can do to live. I don't want them to get involved with crime. I want them to come to me, come to the Justice Center, and be able to get the things they need versus the quick and fast crime way, because that's what they know. That's what they're accustomed to. Exactly. So that's it. That's the whole point of the Justice Center. And I name it that, like I said, because my young cousin that died a couple years ago, and I know that his legacy was about loving people and having compassion for others. So I really, really want to pour that into the young men. Love goes a long way.
Yes, it does. Love changes everything.
It does. Can change. Now your hope is built again. You're like, okay, now I have something to continue for. And then just have it going from one generation to another, or another generation of other men pouring love into other young men. And there's so many organizations for these young men. But again, my job is to make sure that you know about them.
Absolutely. Well, I think that you are on the right path. So are you working in the metro Atlanta area, just wherever someone needs help, or are you specifically targeting a particular area? How would one know? So if someone saw this podcast and they wanted to reach out to you, are they limited if they live on the south side or the north side or the east side? Are you helping just whoever needs help?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anyone. Okay.
Anyone.
So there's no limit to that. Well, that's great. So if you were to, if someone were going to hand you the keys to the Justice Center tomorrow, ideally, where would you like for it to be?
I would like for it to be in a neighborhood that's really poverty stricken. And the reason is because those children or those young men, they may look for someone in the community that can connect with them. When centers like that are outside of the community, where the community struggles with those issues, they may gear away from that and say, oh, they won't help someone like me. I want it right deep in the center of where the issues are. I would like for it to be promoted in a way that people feel that they can just come in no matter what. No matter if you struggle with drug addiction as a young man, no matter if you struggle with living on the streets as a young man, no matter if you've been incarcerated as a young man, I want anyone to be able to come to the center to get the resources that they need. If I personally am not able to link you to a resource that you need, you will not walk out of the door without receiving some type of help to get you to the next step.
Right.
So I really want it to be just like that. And then not so much it has to be youth, but that will be the primary goal. But anyone that needs assistance is able to walk in. But the goal of it is for young men.
Awesome. So do you have a website?
I do.
Okay.
I do. The name of the website is Rita's Helping Hand. So if you want to search it, Google it, you could just type in Rita's Helping Hand, and Google will direct you to the website. If you would like to go directly to the website, www.ritas-helping-hand.org.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. What else can you tell us about Rita's Helping Hand in closing? Is there anything else that you would like to tell us or share with us about Rita's Helping Hand, or how people can help? How can people help you do what you're doing?
Okay. More in closing about Rita's Helping Hand, it's basically a foundation for people to come to find resources that they need. And I'm fully committed. You can call me and we go over what you need, and I find those things that you need or connect you close to where you're trying to get to. I'm
Hmm.
fully dedicated into doing that. It's not so much where's the situation that will, because some people will contact me and they are looking directly for whatever they need.
Hmm.
So I go into explaining to them, I may not have exactly what you need, but I can get it. I
Right.
can get it for you. So that's why I want people to understand that it is a organization that way to really, really deep go deep into what you need, even if it's learning how to read.
Right.
Whatever you need, I can help you with that. And I can find
Awesome.
the funding and the sources for you. And anyone that would like to help Rita's Helping Hand can reach out to me on the website or my phone number, which is 608 512 3306. And they
Okay.
can contact me. And anyone that would like to assist with um, going in the community, finding people, assist with passing out food vouchers, assist with passing out clothing to people on the streets, assist with events that I may have. Please reach out because volunteering is very, very imperative with organizations.
Absolutely. It really is. And as you were saying
Mm-hmm.
that, I was thinking about, a lot of times that, particularly at holiday time, you see people who actually go into the community and do those things. But you're talking about doing this just in general, not just at holiday time. Is something
Oh,
wrong? Oh,
absolutely.
yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is that
I was
people can
making
do
sure I
this at
wasn't losing you.
Okay, that people can do this at any time and not just Christmas or Thanksgiving or times like
No,
that. Yeah,
no, people
because
are
that's
hungry every
typically when you
day.
see people or members of the community that come out and do these things is usually just at holiday time. But these things that you're talking about are happening all the time, 365 days a year in the
Absolutely.
community.
Absolutely.
So they need
Being
help
in
all
those
the time,
situations.
not just
Yeah.
when it's a special occasion. And
Walk
you're also
around being able to provide some words of encouragement, words of
absolutely.
support, prayer, just being in the right place at the right time because
Mhm.
someone may need something and I can provide it right then and there. And now I've
Absolutely.
helped another person.
You
That's
have,
my primary goal, just to be able to help, even if it's just words, even if it's a hug, even if it's just to connect you to where you need to go down the street. Whatever it is, I do believe that if I'm in the right place at the right time, whatever that person needs, I can help them. I think that I really believe that's my purpose. You know, your destiny is
absolutely.
revealed to you the more
Hmm.
you connect, and me connecting more with prayer, I'm starting to be able to reach out and grab those opportunities and apply them to myself so I can pour them into others.
Absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
believe this is your purpose as well. I definitely believe it. You're so incredibly confident in your abilities. I think it is. I
Yeah, and law
definitely.
school helps with that too. Being in law school really gives me the being a student just gives me so much confidence in how I can build me up so I can
Yeah.
help others. And it's all about me getting there so I can mentor other people and say to them, show them I was there, but now
Yeah.
I'm here and I can go
Yeah.
higher and higher and higher. And that gives a person hope to say, wow, I can do that too, then, you know?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So here is someone who was a teenage mom three times over and married the man that she had babies with, got your bachelor. How old were you then when you got your bachelor's degree?
When I got my bachelor's, I was 35.
Wow. Got your
Mm-hmm.
bachelor's degree at 35. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
in law school. How much longer do you have in law school?
2 years.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's tough. It's tough.
Wow, that is a huge
Mm-hmm.
accomplishment. You have come a
So
long
much.
way. You have
Yes.
come a long way, and I don't even know where you started, but I can tell just from listening to you, you have come a long way. Where did you grow up?
In Chicago, south side of Chicago.
In Chicago. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
The mean
South side
streets
of
of
Chicago.
Chicago, huh?
I do miss it a
Wow.
lot, but it's home, you know?
Uh-huh. In
It's home.
Chicago. Wow. So what brought you
Hmm.
to Atlanta?
I got accepted to law school. I
Okay.
got it. 16 schools told me no.
Okay.
And I
And you
kept
only needed one?
trying and I kept trying.
And you
Yep. And
got one to say
mhm,
yes, which was all you needed.
that's all I needed. Because that's my start, you know? That's my start. That's all I need. And then for Clayton County. So I'm a guardian ad litem for them, and I advocate for foster children. And I go to court and just speak on their behalf on how they're doing better or how the moms are doing better if they're trying to get back into the good graces of receiving the children. So it's just all been such a huge honor to be able to come here to Georgia. I really, really enjoy it. I really like it. I like the way that people connect and reach out to help you. Well, no malice at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all about, oh, you're trying to get ahead? I got your back. And
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm all about. So I really, really like it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
knowing you personally, I can say you are absolutely 100% that person. You
Thank you.
are a bona fide earth angel. And if people can't
Oh,
tell from
wow.
listening to this, I'm telling them that you are a true earth angel. That is exactly
Yeah.
what you
It's
are.
my pleasure. It's always my pleasure.
Yes.
That's how we connected because I'm like, what do you need? You're like, oh,
Yes.
it's my pleasure
Yes.
always, always. I
Well,
want a
you
person to be, not having what they need, and I can just take care of it in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I can do it
yeah.
really quick. What's that? You won't lose that time. Gotta pause the time so you'll be able to help someone.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Well, Cherita Toussaint, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and sharing your story this morning. Black Women
Mm-hmm.
in Radio salutes you, girl. We are so proud of you. We are
Thank
really
you.
proud of you. This is one story I'm telling you that we are delighted to share. And I am
Okay.
so happy to be able to share your story on this platform
Thank you.
so that
Thank you.
other women can get to know you and know your story and hopefully be
Absolutely.
able to reach out and connect you with some people who
Please.
can help you. Is
Yes.
what you are doing is this is what what we call good work, and as John
Good
Lewis
work.
said, good trouble. Yes,
Yes.
when
Oh,
you're
yes.
going into the hood to go and help people, oh yeah, that's some real good trouble.
Fear was, I had doubt about it, but it was like the doubt and fear was just removed. I felt comfortable because again, I'm seeking people to help. So, and it could be scary, but doubt was it just went away. It went away. It
Absolutely.
unblocked itself because I have a purpose, and the purpose was to find people who need help. That's all the
Yes.
purpose was. So the doubt was removed.
Absolutely. Well,
It
once
was
you take
removed.
away that, the doubt and the fear, what's left?
Hey, you rocking and rolling then.
You
You
don't
rocking
have
and
anything
rolling.
left. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it becomes an illusion. And once an illusion is gone out of your mental, thumbs up and you're skyrocketing from there. Always with
Absolutely.
anything. With anything. Did
Absolutely.
I lose? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
there
Yeah,
you
with
are.
anything.
Uh-huh.
So,
Do you have
yeah,
any
no
final
problem.
words that you'd like to share with the audience? Is there anything you'd like to say as we wrap up?
To conclude, I would like to say I'm passionate about helping people.
Mhm.
I'm grateful to be able to pour love and grace into others. I'm honored to be able to speak with people and share my story and talk about what others need to become successful, what I can do to help others become successful. We need leaders, we need people with confidence, and we need to release the pain and the struggle that was in the past and focus on who you are and who God sees you as. And I thank you
Awesome.
so much. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Those are some powerful closing words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it has been a pleasure spending this time with you this morning and sharing your
Mhm.
story, as I've said, and on behalf of Black Women in Radio, and we salute you.